Hey everybody, welcome back to Beautiful You. Thank you so much for listening and being here, and thank you always for any participation or comments, liking, sharing, or anything like that. I wanted to remind you that being happy and feeling peace and joy in your heart is it's not easy. It is easy, but it takes practice. Let me put it that way. It is easy, but it takes practice. And one of the absolutely fundamental concepts that you have to grasp and not only grasp and believe, but you have to implement it daily, 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 almost every second of your life. And that is gratitude. It's the single most important thing that you could do to be able to allow yourself to feel peace, because when you are looking at your life and at things in your life in such a way that you realize you could be without these things and what that would be like, that's powerful is what it is. So one of the things I like to think about is how many, what would you have today if you were only given the things that you were thankful for yesterday? Only the things for which you were thankful yesterday are the things that you have today. What all would you not have? I mean, if you think about it, it's just honestly limitless. I suppose if someone had all the time in the world and, they could write down a list and just an exhaustive list of everything, but I still don't think you could ever count anything, because you think about it. Do you go home to a house? Do you have a roof over your head? Do you have a bed to sleep in? Do you have a pillow to lay your head on? Is your house climate controlled? I mean, like, we have just so much, especially in this country, in America. We have so much. We have so many options available to us. And I'll be the first one to say that we've had freedoms stripped from us right and left for years and years and years. But it's still more freedom. You have more freedom here than you do in a lot of places, especially as a female. I mean, today I left my house and went to the store. Okay, let's just take that for example. Number one, the fact that I'm allowed to leave my house. Some people in some countries are not allowed to leave their house and haven't been for months. So first of all, I was able to leave my house. Secondly, I got into a vehicle that I could depend on to get me to the store. So that's a big deal. Thirdly, the heat worked in the vehicle. Fourthly, I'm sure these aren't words. I have these things close to me. I don't have to plan a day-long trip to go out and find what I need. Everything is very readily available. Food, gas, all the necessities are readily available to us, basically, pretty much. When I paid for my food, I had the means to pay for it because, I have a job, and even if I didn't hardly make any money, and I really had to budget my money in order to pay for those things, you know, that was how it used to be in my life. But even then, the fact that I have the ability to budget, like my brain works that way, the fact that I can discern between things that I need and things that I don't. I mean, these are all huge things, really, if you think about it. The fact that I could see to drive, the fact that I have a driver's license, it hasn't been, my privileges to drive have not been revoked. The fact that the road is not full of potholes and I can drive there without breaking my vehicle is huge. Then, you know, I mean, when I lay down in my bed at night, or I guess really in the morning for me, I mean, I have a pillow to lay on. I have a bed to sleep on. Like a lot of people don't even have that. I have blankets enough to keep me warm. The heat in my house is on. It comes on when I just touch a button. I'm very grateful for that. The fact that I can see and the fact that there is beautiful nature out here for me to look at. The fact that the thoughts in my head, I can get them out to other people. I can communicate. There are people who, for all kinds of reasons, medical, genetic, just whatever, they can't talk. They can't get the thoughts out of their head and to other people for multitudes of reasons. I mean, we have clean drinking water. We have the ability to go to a toilet that flushes and we don't really have to do anything but push a button. Like these are big, big deals. And we just take all these things for granted every single day. We take for granted our comforts. We take for granted the fact that we have thumbs. What if you didn't have a thumb? How would you deal with life if tomorrow you woke up with no thumbs? Were you thankful for your thumbs yesterday? I mean, it's impossible, I think, to try and include every single thing in a prayer of gratitude or however you want to be grateful. But I think it's important to recognize how many things we just take for granted. And this life is so difficult, it's so hard, it's so painful. But we're all here. We're not leaving, anytime we could leave at any minute, but for now we're here, and not understanding how much we have been given, I think, leads to sadness and pain. I think when you can understand how many blessings you really have, and every single person in this country, every single person, no matter how hard life is, they have blessings and they're huge. So please, please, I beg of you to do an exercise, set a timer for 90 seconds, 60 seconds, 120 seconds when you get done watching this. And just look around you and think about all the blessings you have. And as you look, realize that the fact that you can breathe air without having to put on a special mask, that's a big deal. I mean, what if something happened and all of a sudden we couldn't breathe our air? How grateful would you be for the fact that you have clean air today to breathe, right? What if something happened and God forbid, your house burned up in flames? I mean, you wouldn't have anything. So think about all the things that you would lose that you may not even count as something to be grateful for today. The fact that you can walk, the fact that you don't, your bodily fluids stay in you for the most part, if that is something for you. I mean, like if you have the ability to know when you need to go to use the bathroom and you are able to do that, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. If you have energy, that's a big deal. Like energy to do things, like you feel energized enough that you can get out of bed. A lot of people can't get out of bed. I mean, but even people stuck in bed, a lot of people, there's probably people somewhere in the world who can't walk and don't even have a bed. Can you imagine? I mean, it's just really, truly overwhelming to me to think about all the things that I'm blessed with. And I hope that you will really, please take a couple minutes, 1 to 2 minutes. And doing this daily is a really big deal. But if you can come up with, just think about it. Just look around and be like, okay, so right now I'm looking straight ahead at the trees. I just see trees and a fence and some vegetables and plants and grass growing and a house next door and a street and my backyard, okay? But in all of that, I have a backyard. I have a fence around my yard. My dogs can just go out and run in the backyard. The trees give me privacy, shade, They shed their leaves and needles, and I can use those. The vegetables that are growing, of course, that's a huge blessing. I can eat those. The the street, I can drive on it. Like the house, I can live in it and do all these things in it. I mean, I don't mean to be so elementary, but I can't express enough how important it is to take a minute and understand, try to understand how many blessings we have. And then truly think, what if you only had today what you were grateful for yesterday? What would you have? Think about that too in the 2 minutes. Were you grateful for anything yesterday? Did you say thank you for anything yesterday? I mean, I just want, if you can take this concept, grasp it, and apply it to your daily life, you will never believe the amazing difference it makes. Thank you so much for listening. I only want to see you be the most beautiful you that I know you truly are.